can hear me loud and clear. It's another beautiful trading week ahead. I think we're gonna have a quite a few opportunities to come. So this will be very nice. Let me just quickly position myself perfectly. Just give me a second. Let me just get that in play. Um, just send out a few things on my screen right here before we get moving. Okay. Um. All right. Uh, okay. All right. So I hope everybody enjoyed the trading last week. We did quite good last week. Most trades was finished, I think, on Wednesday. Actually, I had to go look for more opportunities because of the ones we looked at on Sunday wasn't really playing out because the dynamics of the market changed a little bit. So what I did was I went to reanalyze and then I spotted three trades that could likely happen, and I think all three happened. I can't remember which trade it was anymore. Let me just go through them. Okay, I don't actually have those trades with me right now. Let me just check the chat for a second because I really closed on my trade. Um, okay, so I got it. All right. I hope you guys can hear me. By the way, if you can hear me, please just make sure you please type something in the chat room so I know that you can hear me. So it's not like I'm talking to myself. Okay, good. Thank you very much, Aslan. So yeah, so we had a trade on GBP NZD. We had NZD USD. Okay, yeah, I actually put them up here. NZD USD and USD CAD. So I remember I told you guys to come out of the GBP one. We went in on this day and it actually went up after the news. It went up about 256 pips. I was actually banking for about 140, somewhere around here, but it went way beyond. So some people were able to take the profit beforehand. Some might have waited till later. Yeah, so that one went as planned. And then NZD USD, we also went in on the same day. Let me just go on the daily chart. So we went in on, what day did we go in on? Yeah, we went in on, I went in earlier. I went in on this day, but I think I told you guys to go in on this day. So that came down for about, let me check, about 76 pips or 74 pips before, anything, you know, before it started pulling back up. But I told you guys to come out of that trade anyway because I wasn't feeling it anymore because I suspected, this thing was gonna act up. So, and I think we had the USD CAD as well, but I don't want to spend time, looking into that because I want to keep this webinar as short as possible. So today we're gonna look at new assets. So let me just quickly run through it. Now, the guys that quite new, you might not understand what I'm doing right here because I'm gonna move quite swiftly with this one. So you might not understand what I'm doing or what I'm about, but I'll go through it as quick as possible and give a little bit of time at the end of it to just go through questions. And the guys that do have memberships that can have access to this, this is exactly how to run the analysis. The analysis should be run for like 10 minutes in a week, and then after that, you're practically done for the entire week. All you need to do after that is just execute trades. So I'm just gonna load out my seasonal. I'm gonna load out the COT report, and I'm gonna load out the probability. So first things first, we're gonna start off with a COT report. I'm just gonna delete that one because that was last week's analysis. So we check out the COT report. Let's see what's happening this week. So first things first, from the COT, gold doesn't really give us opportunity. They're taking out positions from the long and short. So I'm just gonna stay away from that. CHF, let's see what CHF is doing. We have long on the CHF. So I'm gonna put CHF long. And now, someone actually got me slightly ticked off. the other day asking me questions that I posted a signal, and I wasn't stating if it was a buy or sell. First things first, long means buy. I've said this quite a few times, and if you're new, I can understand you might not understand that. But if you scroll through the chart a little bit, you might be able to get a little bit of what I'm talking about. Long means buy, short means sell. I could say call as well. Call also means buy, put means sell. That's what he means. So, and don't forget, this is not a signal group, guys. I just do this every weekend just to make sure that I show you what I'm looking to trade. You understand? Most people won't do this. I just do it for the fun of it because there's no point of me just wasting it. I can sit down here, analyze, and keep it to myself. But I'm just bringing you guys along with me. That's what I'm doing. So it's not necessary that I post signals every time. So I'm looking at the JPY. JPY is looking all south. What I'm focusing on is just the commercials. I'm not really caring about the non-commercials or the non-reportable. All I look about is commercials. What are they doing? They've taken out positions from the long side, which is the buy side. They've taken out positions from the short side, which is the sell side. So they're not practically doing anything for me. So I'm out of that one. I'm not gonna analyze that one. We'll go to euro. We see. So they put more positions in the euro on the long side. So we're just gonna type in right here euro long. So that's it. So we have long for euro commercials. They're going by. You can see they've taken out positions from the short side, which means most likely euro is going to tank. But let's go to the next one. USD. Um, by the way, this report was on the second, which was about last week, so it's still quite fresh. So USD, they've actually taken out their positions from the long and the short side now. So I don't want to trade that. I go to CAD, do the same thing. They've taken out position from the long and short side. I want to trade that. Go to GBP. They've put more position on the long side than the short side. So I'm just going to go GBP. So GBP long. So just move out of that. Then I check AUD. The book, tiny position, AUD. So just tiny positions on AUD on the long side, which is buy. Don't forget, long means buy, guys. So short means sell. NZD, they put more position on the long side. So NZD long. So what we see now is we went through all the single futures asset, right? All of these are just futures by themselves. They're not like pairs yet. So all I can see now is everyone seems to be going long. CHF, Euro, GBP, AUD, NZD, all of that is long. Okay. So now what we know is we know all of this is long. We have five assets that is long. And because of the combination, I think each one has a combination of 6 to 7 assets. So we can do CHF, Euro, Euro CHF, Euro JPY, and all of that stuff. It gives us about 6. And if we times that 6 times 5 right here, we still have a combination of 30 assets to go through. So we have to now filter out, what what this thing we're gonna go, which combination we're gonna go to. I'm just putting COT there, so just know that those ones are for COT. And now the next thing to do, I can close my COT report and move straight to the seasonal. So the seasonal now, I don't need to check gold. I don't need to check everything else. I just start from CHF. Start from CHF, see what CHF is saying. If CHF is looking long around this period, then most likely we're gonna get a trade from CHF. All right. Let me see. You guys can still see my screen, right? Yeah, that's good. So CHF, so today's date is the 7th of February, and what we want to look at is 7th of February. What can we see? Market open on the 7th, but 8 maybe, depending on this. So 8, what we can see is long, and then boom, CHF goes down. So definitely what we know in this combination is CHF is a no-go because you can see right here, that long is not going to last. So 8th is tomorrow, and by the 9th, which is on Tuesday, it should be falling. 9th is Tuesday. So we're seeing a drop from the 40, 15, and 5 years already. So if you're seeing a drop there and the COT is saying long, that means there's no alignment. So I wouldn't really focus on CHF right now. Next thing, I'll go to Euro, long, right? So let's check Euro. Let's see what Euro got for us. If Euros gives us long, we're just going to go with that. So I'll wait for that to load a little bit. So what we can see the 8th. to 9, a little bit long, but look, doesn't really look good, right? So to be quite frank, from the COT report, because a new one is
Yeah,
coming
hi.
today. Hey, hi, I'm Shanawaz. How you doing? You good?
Fine. How are you?
I'm blessed, thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So basically, what we can see here is euro. From euro, we can see that the drop is gonna happen from around everything aligns on the 13th. So for the long side, euro seems to be a no-go, right? So we leave that. We move to GBP. GBP seems to be next in line. Let's check. So GBP looks very, very messed up. I mean, right here, the only part I can see long for GBP around 11th. Now, what date is 11th? 11th is Thursday, right? So that long could ride up until 12, but that's too short. So looking at this, right, I wouldn't want to trade this asset. I don't want to get greedy. It means this thing could turn about by the 12th. The 12th, we can get that turn coming back down, or we might be lucky and this might ride out to the 16th, but I don't want to play with it. So I'm just going to skip that for the meantime. I'm going to go to AUD. Let's see what AUD got for us. What we're looking for is a good long. So AUD give us long from the 9th, right? So on the 9th, we see that long. That's beautiful. That buy signal from the 9th all the way till somewhere around here, 23rd, right? But really, I should be out by maximum 18th. So AUD, we look good for AUD. So I'm gonna pull long there as well. No, let's check NZD. And keep this in mind. I've only been doing this analysis for like maybe less than 10 minutes. So so what we can see is on the 9th right here, right? We have that long again on NZD. So NZD showing long from the 9th up until the 18th, right? So what we do here is from the 9th to the 18th long. So now we have NZD going long. And now this is on seasonal, right? So now we have the COT and the seasonal only favoring two assets. So now I've excluded GBP, Euro, and CHF out of the equation. And I've excluded gold out of the equation, JPY out of the equation from before. Right. So I'm practically done with seasonal as well. What I need to focus now on is probability. So what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to check all combinations of AUD and all combinations of NZD on probability, right? So let's start with AUD. All right, so let's go with AUD CHF. Now, what we're focusing on is this, right? AUD, we know the AUD is going to be going long from what date specifically? I think it might be the 9th or something like that. Let me just reconfirm and
Nice.
revalidate that.
Some nice.
From the 9th right here, we have that AUD going long, right? So what we're going to do is this. We're going to check on the 9th, right? From the 9th, what we want to see is AUD going long against CHF. If we get that 9, we like it to be 3 days in a row. If we get our 3 days in a row trade, we good. So look, AUD CHF, right? On the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, we have it going long, right? So, by the way, the people that attended last week, this data was kind of jumbled up last week, was favoring it, but we've changed it all up and we got it back intact. So what we can see now is this. From the 9th, 10, 11, 12, 13, 12, we got that long. And we know that this is going to play out up probably up until 18th, sometimes between 18th. So if I check all of this till 18, yeah, we have that long here, then we have short, long, 18, right? So we're looking good on this. So what I'm going to do now is AUD CHF, just going to jot that down. CHF long. Now, with this one now, all three seems to be aligned. COT seasonality and probability, right? We have that alignment on AUD right? Now, what I can do is this. I can come here now, and I can look for AUD Let me just pop it onto here. Now, let me just see. I think I got that. Let me plain chart. What's this? A second. I just want to get a plain chart. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is go through AUD. All right. Let's see AUD. Where is that asset? I'm trying to look for it down here. There we go. So I got AUD pumping long right from Tuesday. So on Monday, I'm not gonna trade this. On Tuesday, I'm gonna come trade this. I'm just gonna pop back this in here. So right here from Tuesday, I can see that most likely AUD is gonna go up. And looking at this already, we see it's gonna retest. It's gonna retest this double top that's already done. So it's gonna do the triple top this time around. But now the challenge there is just looking at this alone by itself, right? It looks risky. So I'm going to do one more thing to confirm if this is going to go in my direction. So right now, the main reason I say it looks risky is because it's been pumping up for a while, and I just don't want to jump on the train because it's been going up. All right. So I'll load up what I call the wheel spread. Wheel spread helps me know if the asset is still pointing up. So basically what wheel spread do is before the asset goes up, it gives me a bump. Before it goes down, it gives me a bump to the bottom side. Like right here, it gave a bump, that price is about to go up, and look what happened. And right now it's been giving a bump to the downside, and then price came down. Then it gave a bump to the upside, and not too long, price start coming up. Now it's giving a bump to the downside. So automatically this trade, right, even though it aligns, it falls under medium risk. The main reason is because my technical indicator, which is the wheel spread, which is practically almost the only one I use for technical verification, is pointing short. If it pointed long, I'll be more confident to say, you know what, I'll take this trade without any, caution at all. But it's pointing short. So what I'll do is I'll go on the 4-hour trade. I want this trade to pull back right before I go in. So Monday, we're most likely going to see this drop a little bit, set the wick for the week, and then go up. So what I'm going to do is this, right? I'm going to point my entry to be somewhere around the EMA. So we have the 20, 50, and 200 EMAs, right? And what we're going to do now is this. We're going to look for a zone which price broke out of. So Bryce previously broke out of this zone. That's why you had that long breakout candle. Price is going to retest that zone. You understand? And when it's retesting, that's when you want to go in. So, but I wouldn't go in if it's retesting on Monday. I'll go in on Tuesday when I see it's probably consolidating within our region and it's about to break out. So my entry is going to be somewhere around here. And the good part is because the main reason I chose here is because price consolidated around that region. So price is most likely going to come to that region. And what I can see also is the 20 EMA is right there and the 50 EMA is also right there. So I'm going to go to the 1 hour and see if I can find a support zone. Now, looking at my PZ support and resistance, I can see price actually, there's a support zone right here at the top on the 1 hour. But I wouldn't go for that 1 hour. Most likely, from what I'm seeing, I'm going to go for the 200 moving average on the 1 hour. So the 200 moving average right here on the 1 hour, I'm just going to mark that down, come to the 4 hours chart. That's exactly where the 50 moving average is on this trade on the 4 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my zone, even though I know price is going to come here. What price is most likely going to do is raid everybody that put their stop loss below here. You understand? Before it start going long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the trade somewhere around this 50 moving average. Right. So if you look to the left of it, you can also see there's a slight area of consolidation right here, like a small order block. The people that know order block knows what I'm talking about. People that don't know, it's just a little area of consolidation where people have been piling in orders in which price is going to come and retest, then shoot away from that region. So right here will be my entry zone on AUD Okay. Around the 50 moving average on the 4 hours, that's my entry zone on the CHF. And keep in mind, my William is right pointing up on the 4 hours, but on a daily, it's pointing down. I would like it to be pointing up on the daily a little bit, maybe bump tiny bit up to confirm that move for me, to move that to a low risk trade. Every trade comes with a risk, except from the 100% days. But we only have that like a few days in a year. We don't have that every single time. We probably have like maybe 5 or 6 100% days in a year. And now, because of last year, coronavirus have changed things up a little bit. So what's gonna happen is on Tuesday, I want to go into this trade if price comes to around this 50 moving average. Okay, that should be clear. So what I'm gonna do is go back to my analysis, and I know AUD CHF is already sorted. So what I'm gonna do is check the next combination, AUD JPY. Let's go AUD JPY and see. Let's see if we have 3 days in a row going up. So with AUD JPY, what I can see is on the ninth trading day, price went up a little bit, but started coming back down, down, down. So AUD JPY is a boss. I ain't going for that. So what I'm gonna do next is Euro AUD. Even though, keep in mind, we saw that the commercials are actually going super long on Euro. You understand that this now becomes a very risky one because the commercials have pumped a lot of money into Euro from the COT report. We have to be very careful with this trade. And what I can even see from the probability, it gave me on that ninth a buy, but 10, 11th, a sell. Actually, no, wait, hold on. Euro. So it's actually the inverse, actually. That's correct. On the ninth, I meant to go in. It's telling me I shouldn't go in because Euro seems to have more buying power. So on the 10th, I would have to sell on the 10th. So Euro AUD is most likely going to start selling on Wednesday rather than on Tuesday. And keep in mind, the main reason I'm saying sell is because Euro comes before the AUD this time. If you expect AUD to get stronger, to go long, to get stronger, Euro has to lose strength, right? So Euro AUD has to be short in this instant. So what I can see is I shouldn't go in on the 9th, but on the 10th, 11th, and 12th should be the day that I should be going into the trade. So I'm just going to quickly go through Euro AUD and see what I can find. Let me just pop this stuff up again. So Euro AUD. No, let me find that. Okay. So what is that? Oh, okay. I already see what's going to happen in this one. Most likely this thing is going to come down here somewhere. So with Euro AUD, knowing that these guys have pumped a lot of money into Euro, I have to be very, very extremely careful with this one. So I'm going to make sure that I load my roll spread again, trying to see what's happening. Roll spread is showing down, just a little bit of bump to the upside, but it's ultimately still looking down. So that's good for me. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to highlight the zones that I think price is going to get to. Obviously, by looking at this already, since I know I'm going in on a Wednesday, price is most likely going to pull back to somewhere around this region, right? But I'm going to bank price is going to pull back into in between this region, between the 50 and the 20 EMA, right? Things are quite simple when you look at it from a higher time frame and also from with the EMA perspective when you've done your analysis. And what I can see now is this, right? The 20 EMA on the daily is coming closer to this line. So by Wednesday, the 20 EMA is most likely going to be somewhere where this blue line is, blue boxes, and that's where my entry will be around the 20 EMA for the short, right? So if I'm not mistaken, my short entry will be somewhere in between that blue line. Let me check on a 1 hour time frame if I can find some. So yeah, basically my entry will be on the 200 EMA on Wednesday. On a 1 hour time frame, I can see that 200 EMA is somewhere in between the box, but I'll wait a little bit. Price to just go slightly beyond the 20 moving average and hit the PZ resistance line right here and go in at that spot. That spot will be my ideal entry point. 1.57680 will be my ideal entry point to go for a sell in this asset. So Euro AUD, this one is Tuesday. So that'll be short. Short means sell, guys. I'm just saying that again so you guys understand. That'll be on Wednesday. And actually, I'm going to put this in a high risk trade. The main reason I'm going to put it on a high risk, normally it should be a medium risk trade, but the main reason I'm going to put it into the high risk is because the COT report, when we looked at the COT report, what we saw was there was a lot of buying power coming into the Euro asset. So I want to be very careful about that. So I'm going to go through just one more asset and then we'll wrap that up. So let me just switch it a little bit instead of just focus on the AUD pair. Let's look for the NZD long side. Just look for NZD. I'll probably check the rest later. Let's just look into NZD quickly. So NZD on what day we meant to trade NZD? Let me just quickly run through NZD quickly. We have like 11 minutes left of this webinar, so we good. Um, so on the 9th will be the day for the NZD as well. So let's check NZD CHF on the 9th. So we have that buy. Okay, we good. So NZD CHF, what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna pop that in. We've checked that. I haven't checked this. So I'm just gonna wipe this clean. Let's check NZD CHF. All right, I'll populate on it actually. So NZD CHF, right? What I know is NZD is going long, so I want to buy this on the 9th. So what from looking at this, it's also the same tactics as before. It's quite uh the same. The strategy is quite the same. What I can see is there's a 20 moving average right here, right? On the daily time frame. So what I'm gonna do again once more is I'm gonna go to my wheel spread just to check if there's a bump. Now this is showing me that price is most likely gonna come down. You can see that down, and look, price already coming down, but it's giving me a sign that there's gonna be a bump to the upside, which is my cue to go in. So this is falling under the lower risk trade aspect. So what I'm gonna do with this one, because of I know that information, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for price to retest the 20 moving average somewhere around here. But because I know price is quite tricky. It might pierce the 20 moving average and ultimately come to the support region right here. But what you can see ultimately is price broke out of this zone right here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an entry zone rather than an exact entry spot. And my entry zone is going to be somewhere between the 20 EMA and this support region right there. But this market is mad sometimes. It could actually come back to, the 50 EMA, but let's see. But what I can see right here is, okay, this 200 moving average you're looking at on the 4 hours, right? By the time price keeps coming down, it should be somewhere within the blue zone, and that would be our entry point. Somewhere around the 200 EMA will be the entry point for this asset, for the NZD CHF asset, okay? And that practically wraps this one up. So let me just go NZD CHF, NZD CHF. Oh, where did I type? NZD CHF. Type that. Long. So that should be on Tuesday. Yeah. So NZD CHF will go long on Tuesday, and most likely around the 200 EMA when price has already entered this region. But I can bet probably price is gonna get to somewhere around this support region, or somewhere maybe somewhere in between these two regions, and the 200 EMA too will be there. That will be our entry zone, right? USD JPY. USD isn't on the list. So to be quite frank, checking USD JPY is just, to me, doesn't really add up because it's not on the COT report. These guys are not really invested into USD at the moment. They're not really invested into JPY at the moment. So me checking USD JPY is going to divert that attention away from what we really need to be focused on. Understand? So if it was a pair within the AUD range or the NZD range, I would gladly look at it. But the USD JPY right now, it's a bit iffy. Understand? Unless you have a trade in there. EuroCAD. Same thing goes, mate. Look, if you're looking at this, I don't know if you guys can see my note, but if you look at the note, right, Euro isn't on that list. You understand? It's only on the list for COT. It's not on the list for the seasonal. So Euro wouldn't really help, checking it, and CAD neither wouldn't help. You understand? The only reason I'm gonna check that if I have to is if you have a trade in there already, you're holding on to a trade. But if you're not holding on to a trade in that region, then there's no point of checking those out because they're really of no help at the moment. They seem to be super high risk already on those trades. If I want to check that, that's super high risk for me. You understand? Is there any question pertaining to the assets right here, right now, the AUD or the NZD. If there's any questions, regarding those two assets, I'm glad to check those out for you guys. I can check that out for you and assess that for you. But if there isn't any, if there are other assets, for example, that isn't in that cluster, it's going to be a super high risk trade, regardless of how you see it. And I don't chase super high risk. Everything I do is calculated risk. Okay. Is there any questions? So we got 7 minutes on the clock. Oh wow. We got 7 minutes on the clock. And is there any questions about any of these assets? AUD, CHF, Euro, AUD, NZD, CHF? No? You can unmute yourself if you want to talk. Nasdaq, okay, we can check Nasdaq a little bit. That's not a problem. You can see that that's not hasn't been looked at yet. Let me just quickly run through that one. I think you like Nasdaq, mate. All right, let's quickly go. Let's go through that one quick time.
Hello.
Hey, Shanawaz, what's popping?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. What about our favorite pair, gold?
Gold isn't aligned. Gold isn't aligned with the COT report. They actually divide. They're taking out positions out of the long and the short side. So gold isn't really
Okay.
aligned. Oh wow, Nasdaq is sweet,
Okay.
eh? Yeah, this guy. I see why you're looking at Nasdaq from the 8, right? We see that move from the 8 going up from 48 years, 15 years, and 5 years, right? I think I'm gonna do that one personally, man. I ain't gonna post that in here. We can talk about that later. You can message me privately and we're gonna do that. We're gonna check Nasdaq together. Yeah, Adesani, right? Please feel free, bro. You can type or you can unmute yourself, whichever you feel. You have a question, right? Yeah, I see it, man. This is dope. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful one, man. It's an asset you want to hold for long. Someone had their hands raised up. If you have questions, please let me know. You can tap it up or mute yourself. It's all cool, whichever one you choose. I don't know if this person is about to type up the question. Right, but yeah, the Nasdaq one seems good, man. I mean, on the 8th seems to be the entry point, but keep in mind though, we haven't checked. I don't think there's a probability for this yet. Let me check. Probability, stock probability. I don't think there's a probability for Nasdaq yet. I have to go. No, there isn't. So it's a little bit challenging. It's a bit tricky. It's going to be a high risk trade, but I think the reward will be beautiful, especially getting it from now and holding it up until practically January 25th of January next year. So that's almost a whole year. You cannot hear anything? Ah, wow.
Webinar is over.
I don't know. Probably you might just have to watch the replay. I think you might have to check the sound from your side. Okay. I've actually to unmute yourself, bro. You can unmute yourself. It's all good. You can unmute yourself if you have the question. I saw someone put their hands up right now. Just unmute yourself, man. Oh, I think your mic is actually not connected. That's why you won't be able to say anything. You have to get your mic connected, bro. You can type your question up though. I'll read it if you want. I don't know if you can hear me. Your question. Yeah, so this Nasdaq one it's a very beautiful one, bro. I'm actually shocked, man. I haven't even looked at this, but there's like a whole year of holding, man. You can hold this from now up until next year and rake up a good amount of money, depending on position size. This is even a position that you just want to go in just a very small position, maybe 0.50 or something, and then we take it. Yeah, yeah. I think it is a beautiful one. Your connections. Okay. Someone said NZD CHF. Let me go. NZD CHF 1. Tuesday, mate. Tuesday is the day we're looking to go on NZD CHF. So on Tuesday, we're going to look to jump into that one. Don't forget, use your EMA, the 20, 50, and 200 EMA to go in. That would be your ideal, the ideal spot to look for it. Make sure you use those EMA as guide. And it's long, by the way. NZD CHF is long. Euro AUD is short. AUD CHF is also long. We have 2 minutes left. I did Sonny. Uh, wait, let me see, bro. I can see your connection right here. Your mic isn't connected. I'm looking at it right now. Your mic isn't connected. That's why you can't. You can't speak. You have to type it up. If you can hear me, then most likely, it's most likely from your side. I presume everybody else can hear me. So, yeah,
Yes, loud and clear.
exactly.
Yeah, we can hear you. His
Yeah, thank you
connection is
very much.
tough.
So, I just seen Cine. I just seen it's most likely a connection. I think it popped out already. So yeah, guys, that's practically it for this week. We're gonna look at all these 3 trades. I'm gonna probably post out more if I go through the entire collection. Probably might have 6 or 7 pairs around this to trade, but most likely this week AUD is gonna have more strength. NZD is also gonna have more strength against every other pair, but it doesn't mean they're gonna have strength over every single pair, but they're gonna have strength over a specific amount of pairs this week, I think. So that should be it, guys. So if you have more questions, just pop that up into the chat room, and we're gonna pick up on that. And bro, message me on this Nasdaq stuff, man. Let's check this thing out. This Nasdaq one seems sweet. So for the guys that are beginning, I wouldn't advise or recommend you going to Nasdaq. This thing will pop your account in a second if you can't hold. So just focus on the forex pairs that we have at the moment and just try to ride those ones. Okay, if you have any further questions, pop it into the chat room. I'll answer you, or someone else will answer you in the chat room, or pop it on the website. And one of the people on the website will actually handle that also for you. Okay, bro, nice one, man. We're talking a bit. All right, guys, take care of yourself, guys. Have a lovely trading week, and God bless you all. Okay, take care, guys. Bye. All right.
Bye.